Welcome to the Charts tutorials. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at how to add and adjust chart axes. The tutorial covers formatting of axes, and then we'll be looking at adding decorators and adjusting scales on both the Y and the X axis. Like all other elements, an axis can be formatted to your desired look. Select the axis and the format menu appears, allowing you to set the formatting of the font, the axis color, and the axis line thickness. Also, you have options of changing the text rotation, the number format, and the data scale. To add an axis, right-click on the chart and toggle on Y-axis from the context menu. The axis is automatically scaled according to the values of the categories and is automatically updated whenever the data change. To manually scale the axis, select the axis and drag the blue handles to your desired value, and then release when you're happy with the scale. The scale will always include the range between the lowest and the highest value of your dataset. To restore automatic scaling, right-click on the axis and hit Reset to Automatic Scale, or pull the blue handle to the tooltip says Automatic. Tick mark spacing is automatically calculated. To manually change it, select the axis and drag the small handle at the first tick mark. Drag to the desired option and release. To restore automatic spacing, drag the handle toward the bottom of the axis till the tooltip says Automatic and release. By default, the axis is positioned to the left of the chart. You can change the position by selecting the axis and dragging it to the other side of the chart. Alternatively, you can right-click on the axis and choose Move to Other Side. From the context menu of the axis, you can add additional elements such as axis title, toggle on and off tick labels, tick marks, and grid lines. Labels, tick marks, and grid lines can be deleted individually by selecting them and hitting Delete on the keyboard. Or remove all elements by toggling them on and off from the context menu. Based on your data and conclusions, you can decide the best way to show your scale, either the default linear scale or the logarithmic scale. In the context menu, you'll find an option to toggle between the linear and the logarithmic scale. If your dataset has both large and small data segments, you can add an axis break to make the chart more readable. Right-click on a segment or axis to add an axis break. When adding an axis break, the position of insertion is important as it can be inserted in multiple positions and is inserted across all segments at the given y-axis value. When the break has been added, you can adjust it. Select the break and drag it to change the extent of the break. When the break is selected, the format menu is shown. From the format menu, you can change the formatting of the break and change the break style. To delete the break, select it and hit Delete on the keyboard, or Delete from the context menu. In cases where you have two charts on one slide and want to make them comparable, you can set the same scale for both charts. Select both charts, right-click, and toggle on Same Scale from the context menu. The charts stay on the same scale even if data is changed in one of the charts or if the axis scale is changed. To go back to individual chart scaling, simply right-click on one of the charts and toggle off same scale. In some cases, you have related data that does not share the same scale. Line charts and combination charts allows you to have both a primary and a secondary y-axis with different scaling. To move a data series to a secondary axis, right-click on the series and hit Move to Right Axis. This can also be done directly from the legend. The secondary axis can be scaled and formatted in the same way as the primary axis from both the Format menu and the Context menu. To delete the axis, simply select it and hit Delete on the keyboard, or select Delete Axis from the Context menu. As with the y-axis, the x-axis can also be altered from the right-click Context menu. You have options to toggle on and off title, category labels, tick marks, and grid lines. In cases where your data contains increasing numbers that are formatted as dates, such as days, weeks, months, or years, the tick labels can be scaled using a date scale. Select the handle and pull to the desired scale and release. Category labels can have different date formats. Select the labels you want to change and select the desired format from the Date Format Options menu, or type in the format directly using your keyboard. You can change the spacing between two categories on a chart. Click on the axis between two categories and grab the category gap handle. Pull the handle and select the desired category gap. To remove the category gap, grab the handle and pull the handle to no category gap appears in the tooltip. When adding a category gap, the chart width will automatically adjust. If you want the chart to keep its existing size, you can hold Control while dragging the category gap. You can also change the category's width on a chart. Select one of the category segments and pull the handle on the frame of the segment. Drag to the desired gap and release. To reset, simply repeat the steps and set the gap at 70%, which is the default setting. As with the y-axis, a break can be added to the x-axis. In this case, there's a gap in the data as 2022 and 2023 is missing. To guide the reader, you can add a category axis break. Right-click on the x-axis in the desired location and toggle on axis break. Select the break to format it. Hit delete or right-click to remove the axis break. As an alternative to an axis break, you can also add a vertical line. To add a vertical line, right-click on the axis between two categories and toggle on vertical line. The line can be formatted as well as all other elements. To remove the vertical line, simply right-click and hit Delete Line, or hit delete on the keyboard. Thank you for watching. Please check out ambler.io or YouTube for more videos and tutorials.